you've recently moved, but the first thing you wanted to do was
carry on with my Tai Chi.
That's right. Yes.
Because I've been fortunate enough to really to go to Joe and Colin's classes in the north. I just assumed really when I went down to Cheltenham when I moved last November that I'd be able to pick up where I left off, and so I went along to the local U3A and looked at their list of groups. I was staggered that there wasn't a Tai Chi group amongst them, because there was just about everything else, from belly dancing to kite flying and archaeology, no Tai Chi. So I was a bit nonplussed by that, so I started looking around the local community to see what else there was. And there were various groups, but they weren't, with that, I don't want to knock the groups that were there, but there wasn't anything that really inspired me to carry on with the kind of Tai Chi that I've been doing, which is a Sun style Dr. Lam's programs. And so I was speaking to Jo some time before that, and she said, well, have you thought about teaching? And so I thought, there isn't anything I want to join here, so I better start something up of my own. And went along to the U3A and said, look, I've got this, I've been practicing Tai Chi for some time, although I'm not actually formally, I don't know whether you want me to say this, but I'm not actually formally at that point qualified in any sense, but I am a qualified teacher. I've been teaching everything from boys football to research methods for 40 years. I'm reasonably confident that I'm not going to damage anybody, and if people are prepared to come along on that basis, I'd be happy to start a beginners program. And I thought I'd probably get maybe 10, 12 people. So they floated the idea at one of the open meetings, and I got a few inquiries, and then they put it in the newsletter. And then, I had to stop taking names on the reserve list when it got to 30 some. And even beyond that, I bet I had another 30 people. There is an absolute crying out demand in the West Country for Tai Chi. Some of the people were, because it was the U3A that had been advertised through, they were all over 50. And some of them were people with health conditions, arthritis being high on the list, blood pressure, Parkinson's, whole range of sort of the kind of things that older people get, really. But there were also some younger people got to hear of it. So I started off doing it fortnightly, and then I thought, I ought to get the qualification. I did a first aid course, and then I came and did the instructor's course for Tai Chi for arthritis and Tai Chi for falls prevention. So I did the joint one, and so that's how it started. And it's been great. I really loved it. The people who've come along have been quite. They've been varied. I mean, some people, they expect that they're going to be able to. They've got some idea that it's just vaguely waving your arms around, and it can't be very difficult, can it? And then after a while, some of them think, well, actually, there's, no matter what you tell people to start with, that it will take you some time to get into it. And then I explain my story, because when I started with Colin, which I'll tell you about in a minute, I almost gave up, but some of the people, they've not really been prepared to put any practice in and give it a shot, really. So there's been a bit of attrition, and I think that's probably the case with a lot of groups that start up. But there've been some people who you could see it clicked. It wasn't that they learned it very quickly, it was that they got very, they liked the idea of it, and they could see, they were sold on the idea. And I love the whole family idea of it, it's great.
So you've been drawn into the
Oh,
Tai Chi
yes.
for health.
Oh yes, I have. Yes, I'm sold on it completely. Yes, yes. But I say, when I started, which was I was just turned 60, I think. It's about 8 years ago, and I started getting creaky, a bit achy, probably doing a bit too much leaning over the computer, not enough moving about. So I thought I need to do a bit of exercise. And somebody told me there was a Tai Chi class running in the local town. I went along to the adult ed, signed up, paid my money over, turned up, and it was Colin. I was really lucky that it was Colin. I wasn't so lucky in that it was a huge class, I was lazy. I went along for the first 3 or 4 weeks and just went along. I didn't do any practicing. Bad. So,
what converted you?
Well, I paid my money, actually. I'd paid for it, and I thought, you're an idiot, really, because you should just give it a chance. So get practicing. So I did. I practiced I didn't do it every day. I wasn't a saint or anything. I probably did it probably about 3 or 4 times a week, something like that. Enough, really. But then we got to sort of October, November, and I wasn't seeing anything. I was getting a bit better at it, but I wasn't really converted. Then I was practicing, and then it was the open and close. I got it. I could feel, and I can, even when I do it now, I don't have to think about it. I can feel the resistance. And I thought, this is weird. This is really weird. When you first get it, it is so strange, isn't it? This feeling that there's this invisible thing there. And it still makes the hair stand up on my arms. It's still a strange feeling. It's so powerful. And I thought, I'll give it to the end of term, and then by the end of term I started to get other things. And also, one of the things I didn't anticipate was the balance, because my balance is very poor, because I've got tinnitus. I've just always had, but I have benign positional vertigo. It's a sort of an ear thing. So my balance is at one time, there's no way I could put my socks on without sitting on the bottom of the bed, so it has improved, although you will see me tottering about like. But I notice as well when I'm moving about, when I'm walking, I'm not walking like that with my head forward now. I'm walking. And I've grown 2 inches, I'm sure, I come up out of my midriff, when I'm walking along and hold my head up. And you were saying the other day, yesterday, about smiling, about keeping your face, about facing people. And I do,
It makes a difference to your mind.
It makes a difference to other people's minds as well. They see you, they see your face and they see you smiling. And they smile back, some people look at you a bit oddly, but the majority, and the way you're greeted in shops and so on, if you've got a smile on your face when you go to the counter,
Happiness is contagious.
Yes, it is, yes, and positivity and so on, and walking tall, it makes such a difference to the way you face just every day, and it's cumulative. It is cumulative. You feel a bit better, then a bit better still, and then a bit better still. So.
Yeah.
You'll also see that I don't have any trouble talking.
and I think a classic example, something that Dr. Lamb says, that you need to warn your beginners that it could take 3 months or so for them to feel comfortable.
Well, I told them the story about me and joining Colin's group. And some of them it did make a difference.